there was another T-shirt I saw in that shop in Wisconsin that day, in Madison that day. That was something along the lines of like, um, you know, you don't have to keep holding on to something just because you've been holding on to it forever. Like you don't have to keep holding on to that. You don't have to keep making that mistake just because you've been making it for so long. Like
Yeah.
you can stop. You can
Yeah.
change your mind. You can go in a different direction, and you really, I don't know.
How has that been for
I,
you with, I mean, because you've had these different businesses and it's your, you kind of like shape your life around the business and then moving on from it.
like how does
Like,
it been, how was it like leaving the record biz after 20
yeah, and like,
years?
like leaving or like stopping Conduit.
Leaving the record biz was like, once I decided to do it, that I could do it, I was like, like I don't have to keep doing it. Just because I've been doing this for 20 years
Yeah.
doesn't mean I have to keep doing it forever. And once I realized that, then it was actually, unfortunately, I was in a situation, and I have to like preface all of this by acknowledging just how fortunate I am to have been able to like experiment with things and like
Hmm.
mess around and fail, because I know not everyone has that opportunity. So
Yeah.
I do need to acknowledge that, though I also firmly believe that no matter what situation you're in, you can always change your thinking
Yeah.
about things, and if changing your thinking about things is the first step towards changing things.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I just need to like have that little commercial in there.
I like it.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
um but fortunately, I was just like, a situation presented itself where I was able to just like kind of walk away from it. In a way, I had to tie up some loose ends, but basically just like someone kept the business going, and I was able to just like step away, and I had no problem
Yeah.
doing that. And there were a few things that happened, like once I had Black Swan on my own. Like there were a few key moments that I could turn and point to that had involved, one involved like relationships, and one involved money, and another thing that I don't need to get into detail on, but it just like showed me like, yeah, this is not gonna
Mm.
work out.
Okay.
You need to find something else. And so I just stepped away, and I
Yeah.
realized like, I let people know, I gave notice, all that, and a lot of the, no, there was nobody. I knew it was the right thing because it just felt right, and I was just affirmed by nobody saying, "No, you can't leave.
Mm.
Dude, you're my man. You're my label manager. Like, you
Yeah.
can't leave." Like, nobody cared. Like, everyone was like, "Okay, good luck."
Yeah.
And it was just like you know, my ambivalence towards the whole thing, my long-term ambivalence about it being reflected back at me
Okay.
in a way. Like nobody really, there's out of, I was in that, worked at that in that company for a long time, almost 15 years, a lot of relationships, a lot of people, a lot of records put out, a lot of everything. And I'm in like real contact, like back and forth. We're friends, we're in each other's lives with maybe like, less than 5 people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's okay, because I
Yeah.
was, it was a part of the record industry. I was in the yoga music biz, and so I would go to a lot of festivals, and there was like the message was always like, follow your heart, pursue your dream, do what you love to do. And I was going to all these yoga festivals and loving the people. Like the people there are fantastic. It's an incredible community, but hating the music. And there is a certain, just like there's another side to it that just really didn't, that I could not. I was the secular guy at the spiritual festival, and there was only so far that my authenticity could carry me
Mm.
before I just started to realize like, this is just, I think my heart is telling me to not come to do something else, to find something else, to stop coming to these events and stop
Mhm.
working in this field that I don't really give a shit about, and
Yeah.
go like find the thing.
Yeah. That's
And
interesting.
so, on one hand, I wish that I hadn't spent all those years doing that, because I didn't love it. But on the other hand, whatever, at least I like got the message,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I acted on it.
Yeah. And it kind of probably helped you find the next thing in some ways, like
Yeah,
helped steer you to what
exactly.
you did want to be doing. Or,
Right.
yeah.
You know, when we did our um when I applied for that Ignite talk for that cohort that we were in, I really didn't have much of an idea of what I was going to talk about going in, but I knew that I like new people. You know, I was like, I'll probably, they'll- I'll get in, and then I'll figure it out. And one of the things I was thinking about talking about was just like, you know, they say when um, one door closes, another one opens, but they don't tell you that you could be waiting in the hallway for a really long time, and then you actually may have to go and actually knock on a door, if not kick it
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Um, but that's definitely been a lesson that I learned, just like, because you know, my life in my early 20s up to around 30, like I was on this path in the record biz, and like things are going my way, and it was just like looking good. And then I decided, you know, I needed, you know, to move on from that one job. And then all of a sudden, like the next like lily pad to leap to didn't appear
Yeah.
for a
Things got hazy.
really long time.
Yeah. Huh.
And um yeah, and that was hard, uh but then I got, you know, I changed my thinking, and things started to change. I decided that, you know, I don't have to hold on to the mistake I've been holding on to for all these years, just because I've been holding on to it for all these
Yeah.
years. I don't need to trip over what's behind me and what could have been or should have been. Uh, you know, all I have to do is worry about what's ahead of me, or
Yeah.
not even not and not worry about it. I even hate saying that, like,
Yeah.
but
Just
just concern myself with what's ahead of me.
keep moving. Is it?
Yeah, keep moving. Another one of my favorite sayings is, I know worrying works because everything I've ever worried about has never happened.